Hello and welcome to the... What do we name this show again?
Pro Wrestling Digest.
Thank
Look at
you.
the paper. You're supposed to be the host.
I know,
Jesus.
I know. Well, we got the full crew here today, so before we get to the news and the programming notes, John, why don't you introduce ourselves, our sleeping brother?
Yeah, I kind of missed last week. I was snoozing away in dreamland, but I'm Johnny Blaze. Wrestling was hereditary for me. My grandmother loved it. She used to be a photographer at the old Laurel Garden in Newark during the 50s. Suffice to say, I grew up with all the stories. She trained me on wrestling from the time I could barely walk. So I've been basically a wrestling fan since birth. My first match was Hulk Hogan versus Kamala at the December '86 Garden Show.
Everybody
So
loves
I'm a
hope.
Hulkamaniac. So, and might I give a quick plug real quick?
Go right ahead.
There is a page on Facebook that people need to know about. It's called Paul Roma Doing Jobs.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, shit. Hey.
So yeah,
that exists.
just want to put that out there.
Now I kind of feel bad we had the CM Punk title card tonight.
Oh, boy.
Okay, now for a quick programming note. We are recording this episode much earlier than we usually do, so unfortunately we will not be able to cover NXT or the CWC Grand Finale. However, when next week's show, not only will we cover both weeks of NXT, but we'll go through CWC, not only the Grand Finale, but the tournament as a whole to see what we think of it. Alright, anyone want to say anything before we go into the news, gentlemen?
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, might as well thrown off.
Alright, well, the first news came almost the day after we did the first podcast. Alberto Del Rio has officially been released from WWE and is booked to go to the What Culture Pro Wrestling. What does anyone think about that? Well, he's going back to his old name, Alberto El Patron, as we suspected last week.
Well, actually, let me just cut you off real quick because technically, the term that they use is not that he was released, that they split on amicable terms.
Ah, okay.
So, and also it's El Patron. Let
El
the Spanish.
Patron. I'll let the, I'll let the Spanish people do the Spanish names.
Yeah. We'll make sure that Alberto actually promotes the tequila that he actually likes to drink.
Well, there's also another thing too. We should have called him Del Rio now. He should become the wrestler formerly known as Del Rio.
Look, that gimmick was already taken by Dustin Runnels. We don't need to have another one. What the hell is Del Rio going to come out now in a bustier or some shit?
Oh no!
I think he has. Normally, this would be part. I say
maybe that's something for Paige to get on to. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of which,
Paige is going to be sticking around the WWE as soon as she heals. So, I guess good for her. She's sticking around WWE. Del Rio's going to find his own path. Maybe she'll get a push once she gets back.
Yeah.
And let me point out for the record, I have Ricky Knight on my Facebook, and you should hear him crowing about it. Oh my God! Oh, you people are gonna apologize to me, line up, all that bullshit. Yeah. So I know her father's happy.
All right. So, what are you about to say, Lou?
Well, what I was about to say was that, the thing with that is, I don't like to go into the guy's personal much. This isn't a Just Jared podcast. Just want to put that there. But once Del Rio gets over his midlife crisis and dumps her, what's she gonna do about those tattoos?
The same thing everybody does with their tattoos. Pay a shitload of money for laser surgery.
I know. The fact that she actually has it under her breast, it's like if she decides to wear like just a straight up top, that thing's gonna be very visible.
But I mean, even she freaking deleted. She put that thing was up on Instagram for like fucking 10 seconds before she took it down?
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
it's the internet. The internet's just forever.
Oh no!
I first saw it on Wrestling Inc. that I was just like, yeah, that's not gonna go away just because someone made it.
Someone captured it.
And she basically failed the test because she couldn't get to the test. Basically, same as Hornswoggle.
Oh damn.
Wait, what?
She
Yeah.
missed the test, i.e. she failed from that, not actually failing.
Yeah.
She just failed to get there.
She lost via
found out why
forfeit?
Del Rio failed.
Psst.
Wow, forfeit? Really? That's just all right.
We'll get to forfeits later.
Get to the
Oh,
forfeit.
yeah.
No,
All right.
found out why Del Rio failed.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys noticed that or not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She took some of the Ico Pro they had still left in Titan Towers.
There you go.
I thought
Yeah,
I thought Vince had a stockpile of that.
No, I think Lex Luger stole most of that on the way out.
Part of the reason why he's on that Mobile X Express right now.
Yes.
John,
Yes.
I can't believe you said.
Okay.
Okay, Kurt
Now-
Angle might be the next.
Ah.
Sorry.
On
go
that
ahead.
note, Lou, do they play I'll Be Your Hero when they wheel him out of the thing now?
Oh, jeez.
Oh my
Oh
god.
God.
That joke sucked. Anyway,
Speaking of all Americans,
Kurt Angle is apparently the next WWE 2K exclusive. I don't think that means he's coming back, but at least it's good to see he's on good terms with WWE again.
I
I
agree
don't
with
think
that,
he-
but
go ahead.
I honestly think that because he actually has told before in other interviews that he actually has some interest in coming back. Like, I don't know, like, people want to think of him going back with the American Alpha, but I definitely think he should come back, like, just not like as a part-timer, but just something as a special event to actually make it worth his time to be back, just to say, hey, I'm back, let's do something fun, and just make it like one last hurrah in the WWE, and maybe he'll retire, and maybe in a few years he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
and you know what's funny? You mentioned it like that because I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were like, "Can you imagine if Angle came out with American Alpha, and then Lesnar came out with the Revival?" Oh my
damn.
god!
Oh, wow. What, Lesnar?
Yeah,
And with the upcoming news, and with the next bit of news, that will pretty much help build a Survivor Series next. But we'll. And the next bit of news, I guess I killed the conversation by accident, is that Shelton Benjamin will hopefully return in 2017.
I hope so, because it sucked that he had all this, oomph coming out, ready to come, like the hype coming out, and all of a sudden it just went. But it's a good thing they found it, because at least they know, hey, you had this elbow problem. I mean the shoulder problem. Go ahead and take care of it, and we'll come back and bring it back. Did they actually say what time he might be back in 2017?
It said early
I'm just-
2017.
literally just had the surgery done a couple days ago. That much I know because he put up post about, "Oh, I'm resting up. We'll be
So
back."
he's definitely looking at about a 6-month wait, same as Finn
Yeah.
Balor.
Well, I was
Although I wish
maybe
he'd
a
come back
Rumble.
to the Royal Rumble.
I was about to say maybe a Rumble return.
Rumble return.
I can
Yeah,
see
that'll be pushing it.
that'll be
I said
pushing it for
maybe.
both of them. I think we're both to be really pushing it. I mean, as much as I would love to see that, it just doesn't seem like it would happen for either one.
Yeah.
And again, if it was Cena, he would have came back yesterday and pinned half the Raw.
Well,
Yeah,
remember,
we'll
but
get
sooner or later that's gonna catch up to Cena, and well,
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
just remember that Finn Balor has been legally cleared to play with Legos.
There you go.
Yeah, real. They felt that was news. That's what surprised the hell out of me.
good.
Well, Finn Balor apparently thought it was news. He posted it to his own freaking Twitter, so
I
Oh,
don't
no,
know,
he's
maybe as a joke.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. He likes to play with the people. Like, everyone knows he likes to have fun. I mean, look at the way how he poses with everyone. Like, he just stands like a straight stick and just gives that like goofy smile just to say.
he's like Conor McGregor, except you actually do want to drink with this guy.
Oh,
Speaking of the
boy.
Performance Center,
Scotty Too Hottie, aka Scott Taylor, has been hired as a coach for the Performance Center. I thought he'd been a coach at the Performance Center.
he could have
does
been a
this-
guest.
So does this mean that the Worm is now standard teaching material at the Performance Center?
Oh boy! But to be fair,
you-
he was a guy who busted his ass just to get
Yes.
onto the WWE roster. So
And he's
I-
well,
what was
as well
he?
as
Tag
learning how to piss
champion,
up the
IC
mannequin.
champ, I think. What was he?
tag champion and light heavyweight champion. In fact,
Was he light heavyweight?
yeah, in fact, cheating a little, I was actually going to recommend Sky Tuhati Dean Malenko feud as my recommendations, but that's cheating.
We'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, Linda McMahon's pool boy.
Yeah.
I thought that was Kerwin White. Anyway,
I'm going to skip this next part and go straight to the next one. And Ryback legally trying to change his name?
Yeah, he actually wants to change his name to Ryback Reeves.
okay.
Apparently, he's
You
got
know
it
what's
done ready.
hilarious?
That he's trying to pull an Ultimate Warrior. May that man rest in peace.
Oh,
Yeah,
Warrior's
he
wife
is.
blasted him for it.
Say again?
I don't see that Warrior's wife tore into him for it.
Well, there are two things that are going on here. One, Ryback's an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Duh.
That's
Two, Ultimate Warrior actually managed to build a brand while he was in the WWE. He was actually trying to branch out aside from that. I mean, granted, the branching out was kind of idiotic, but at the same time, he did actually try to build the brand
Well,
of the Ultimate Warrior. So, I mean, people that remember the comic books, the sayings, all that stuff, that was really building the brand. What the fuck has Ryback done to build the brand of Ryback?
He's trying to
Well,
start.
he didn't hold up the company for money. That's for damn sure.
Well, yeah, no wonder he doesn't have the money to start building a brand. Anyway,
He's trying to
that's what he
promote.
should have done.
He's trying to promote health supplements, and I think we just lost Lou. hopefully,
That's okay.
hopefully he'll come back soon. But yeah.
Yeah.
Let me resend the call. Anyway, oh crap! Hello. Technical issues. In a sec. Sorry, I have some technical issues, fellas. Hopefully, everybody's still online. Come on, fellas, pick up.
I was wondering what the hell was going on.
Oops! I was trying to call. I didn't realize it was me that was winging. All right, because I was trying to call you guys. I was like, oh god. So anyway, I was about to say Ryback is trying to create a brand for himself, or He's trying to push health supplements, and I think he's trying to copyright the big guy or some crap like that.
Yes.
Well, he has the big guy copyrighted. And not a lot of people. He actually did come up with the Ryback name because he used it before he signed with WWE.
Yeah. I mean.
But the thing is, it's like, okay, you did that for like a handful of shows in the middle of nowhere. With Warrior, it was, I mean, come on. Warriors, say what you will about Warrior. Warrior was a cultural icon.
That is true.
And very protective of his brand, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has to be protective of it. Well, anyway,
Anyway.
What
happened, Ninja?
Anyway, he's just he's in the process, so anyway, we don't even know if it's actually going to be working, so we'll wait and see. Just when he actually announces it in his next podcast, he'll be like, hey guys, I'm actually now known as Ryback Reeves from now on. Congratulations, we move on.
And I'll be
to our next topic.
And I'll be in TNA too. No, I'm just kidding. I hope. Roderick
Cyborg is in the Impact Zone.
Oh my God, Mike! What's that?
Roderick Strong reportedly signed with the WWE, as reported to the Performance Center.
As long as they don't play the tape where he got beat up by a whole bunch of people in another wrestling promotion and got paid in beer, he's all right.
Oh, geez.
I just want to know one thing.
What's that?
You know, WWE's criticized for having a strong, a soft style. Excuse me. I wonder what's going to happen when Strong comes in and be stiff with everybody.
Well, Nakamura hasn't
Imagine the
murdered
shoot
anyone
fights
yet.
he would have with them, especially the Miz.
Oh, I want to see that.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
you're
wanna
just
see it
baiting him
because you
now.
want
You're just
them
baiting
to
him now.
die. All right.
I want to see that so bad. I want Strong to beat him for the. I want anyone to beat him for the IC belt.
Well, that's what makes him a good heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's save
Let's
that
save
for five.
that.
let's save that for the 5 pages of notes.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
Vince McMahon tours his quads.
Again?
Well, at least he was doing squats. At least he wasn't trying to get in the ring.
Yeah.
Good point.
Hi, I'm
Yeah.
going to make decisions sitting down. Why? You don't want to know.
I think now this is actually a good thing because now this means he can't be involved in any of the shows for a while. He'll still be in the back. He'll still find a way to get involved, but not like on camera.
Papa Vince had surgery and was back at Titan Towers the next day.
I'm starting to think Vince is just a cyborg, and this is just an excuse to upgrade his body parts,
You know you can't
like
be wrong with that.
replacing
Titan
steel with
Towers
titanium.
next day.
It's just funny though. Vince tears his quad. He's back at Titan Towers. Tony Romo breaks his back. He's in a wheelchair.
Hold on, guys.
Well, yeah.
All right.
So are we going to go on to the other bit of news that you skipped over because it's the best part?
Yes, we are. UFC.
Ish.
This technically would be a good start to the pay-per-view section because this is technically a pay-per-view. UFC
Yes.
203 was on Saturday, which was the long-awaited debut of CM Punk. He faced brown belt Mickey Gale and was choked out first round within little over 2 minutes,
Sir?
right near like a joke.
2 minutes and 14 seconds, sir.
2 minutes and 14 seconds, and what was sadly the most one-sided beating I've ever seen in the UFC. Now, let's be fair. Most of us
No,
here
we're not going to be fair.
No, I'm not going to. Fuck him.
most of us, if we step in the octagon, will get murderized, and what took balls for CM Punk to do. With that,
There's two things that need to be said about this.
I'm about to say. With that said, go ahead, John.
First of all, he had 0 significant strikes the entire fight. The first time that's ever happened in UFC. Second of all, me and Lou were doing the math the other day. He got $500K to do the fight. So basically, he got paid $3,700 for every single second he was in the octagon.
Yeah, that's about right.
He threw
Let that sink in.
He threw
Yeah,
one
that
punch.
is insane.
He threw one punch, got tackled to the ground. Well, and I say throw
Yeah, a
as in
punch.
He didn't connect.
I said through. I didn't say connect. I think the only
He threw a
three.
couple work punches, brother. He was like,
Exactly.
I'm gonna feed to you. I'm gonna feed to you, Mickey. You go ahead and I'll let you do the babyface comeback.
Well, that was what Kayfabe News said, right? CM
Yeah,
Punk
yeah,
puts
exactly.
over Mickey Gall.
Yep.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Well, now, as I say, and I agree. I think everybody agrees with what Ty said. It takes balls to get in there. I know I still want to get in the cage eventually. It's going to take time. With that said, I wish Mickey Gall had defeated Punk the way I wanted him to. Not choking him out. I wanted his face caved in.
Look at that title card. His face practically looked like it got caved in.
So okay, he got a little more cauliflower ear than he had before. His face, it wasn't like Paige Van Zant where her top turned from white to red over 2 rounds.
Yeah.
She lasted 2 rounds.
I know,
Exactly.
I know. She's actually trained as much as I don't like the way they're promoting her.
Did you hear
And
the new
that's-
version of his theme music? Did you hear the new version of his theme music that he had when he came out to the ring?
Oh no!
Wasn't it
No.
just a straight up
Yeah,
version
they-
of
the
Cult
whole-
of Personality?
No. It was like, look in my eyes. What do you see? I'm gonna get knocked out. I'm gonna get choked out in under 3.
Oh god!
Oh,
But there's
God.
something that also needs to be said
But-
that he trained for 2 years and basically alienated his whole fan base just to get choked out in under 3 minutes.
2
But in
years.
the end, it was one of their highest grossing fights. If I'm like, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it like the highest grossing UFC show in a while?
I think since
Yeah,
Brock
and
Lesnar retired.
I'll tell you why. Real simple. They want to see him lose.
That's
I
People
did.
wanted to see. People were willing to pay $50 to $60 to watch a guy from the professional wrestling arena that is not a crazy freakazoid, not a genetic freak, to go in there and get his face pounded. That's what they wanted to see. I mean, he's no Dan Severn, he's no Ken Shamrock, he's no Brock Lesnar.
Hell, even Steve Blackman.
So basically, the
lasted
same
longer.
reason. I'm sorry.
And I said, hell, even Steve Blackman would have been a better opponent. Now go ahead.
So basically, the same reason we paid for the Mayweather fights to see
Yeah,
Mayweather.
exactly. To see Mayweather, except we kind of thought there was no real way for Punk to run away. I'll give him that. Punk didn't at least run away. He got taken
He was
down.
reaching for the ropes, and it looked like he was wondering where the ropes were.
Maybe he should have tried out for Pride. Anyway,
Maybe, right?
Anyway, I think that's all we got to say about that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. I can't wait to blast into this.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it.
We'll go a little longer because one more thing. Dana White did say that, quote, Punk's next fight should not be in the UFC. AKA,
Yeah, no shit.
To hype it up.
AKA, Dana White took
saying
advantage of
something-
Punk's name, and now he's going to send him off.
No. He's saying something like that so they could get some bum that Punk could get a quick win off of. It probably won't be on pay-per-view. He'll probably have him do one of the UFC fight nights and squash some guy. You know, that has no idea what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, but can you find a white belt even less experienced than CM right now?
Well,
There's
I
a
take
world of-
bookings.
Yeah,
I
I
take
was about to
bookings.
say, I'll take it.
I have a white belt.
God. Then again, I'm about 3 times Punk's size, but
And now the moment Will's been waiting for. We get to review Backlash.
But first, now here's the question: should we announce who got the best results, or wait to the
Yes.
So let's start with the results first, and then I'll go into this because
Okay, with 4, of course, is me, which I want to say to all the non-believers. To all the non-believers. I'm sorry, I had to pull out the Bart Scott speech.
end? You had to, I know, but
Okay.
still, God.
The only loss was my only miss was Orton because, well, we didn't expect.
We all did.
I still say there should be an asterisk next to that because technically we said Bray's opponent would win.
Yeah,
Yep,
but we also technically said Orton would win.
Well, technically Orton did.
And technically Bray did win the match, but by disqualification, by submission. But anyway, first match of the cards, Becky Lynch defeats.
No.
Wait, I'm sorry.
No.
His notes.
Don't forget there was a match beforehand. So
Of course, I'm
let's
sorry.
So we are
let's-
covering that.
So
Yeah, we
let's
are.
start with the notes here, and the first thing I'd like to say is who in the hell let a Nickelodeon show present a wrestling pre-show?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
So-
you.
So
God, thank you.
so
Why?
Okay, these are just random things that I wrote down the entire time. I have about 4.5 to 5 pages worth of this shit.
Maybe
Oh,
we
God.
should have been working off Will's notes. Then.
So
Yeah, really.
And I quote, "It's hard to tell the difference between vintage and out of date," says Jerry Lawler. My response, the difference is that one thing something Michael Cole says and the other is something that Michael Cole is.
Man,
Well, are you sure you're not trying to copy off What Culture?
I'm just sitting there going, maybe they're copying off of me. I don't know. So anyway, I'm looking at I'm looking at the little thing between Miz and Ziggler. You know, Miz smirks, Ziggler scowls, and I'm trying to figure out why. During the vignette, I go, Ziggler could have just stepped on the belt, and Mrs. Frenchie would have had trouble picking it up.
yeah.
Yeah, but that would make Ziggler look at the bad guy.
No, it wouldn't. Made him look fine. Let's see here. Ziggler was losing matches to me when I had one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. Another choice line from Jerry Lawler.
There you go.
New York traffic.
And someone agreed with you.
And then
By the way, some idiot is knocking on my window. I don't know who it is.
shoot them. Anyway, Backlash is only on the WWE Network, not on pay-per-view. So are they abandoning pay-per-views?
Wait a minute. I got to correct you on that. It was on pay-per-view, at least on FiOS.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
I got the email.
Sorry.
Okay. So we got a network vignette. No Mercy, the SmackDown exclusive. Excuse me, it's No Merci because Mrs. Frenchie keeps getting in the way. Who keeps paying her?
Yeah, really.
That was Hogan's voice they're putting in there. Are they starting to warm up to him again?
I think they do
Yes.
because, well, let's put it like this way. Because of what happened to Gawker, and that's a whole other thing you and me, Will, could talk about, but actually a lot of us could talk about, but the thing is, what the hell, dude?
Okay, so let's see here. We go into Rhino and Heath Slater. Oh dear, what is this? The Barry Gibb talk show. Heath Slater has priorities. That double wide is priorities. Slater and Rhino are trying to throw off the question guy. It's way too easy. Slater almost made Rhino laugh with the horrible screaming. No more community pools. That was the message I got. That taking the family to the Golden Corral. These guys have been listening to Kenny Starmaker bowling way too much.
Bing.
Then we go on to where the people talk. Fat Kid gets into the shot. Renee Young flubs talking. What is with the ascension of Breezango being part of the announcement of the six-pack challenge? I honestly think it was part of the tag team thing, but whatever. Let's see here. King complimenting Alexa Bliss. I think she's too old for him. Please no shucky ducky quack quack. I want to punch Booker T every time he says that. JBL and Otunga looking at the master at work, Mauro Ranallo. You can't get enough Mauro Ranallo. And finally, the first match after 45 minutes, we get Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. Bobby Lashley Light makes his way to the ring.
Bobby Lashley.
Light. At least he's not Tony Martin Light. Or for some
now
some
there were
better
people
known
talking
as
about
Ahmed
football
Johnson.
experience that both people have in the ring. I'm saying, does Corbin even have football experience? At least
Yes.
Ernie Ladd knew when he had to wring his brain out.
Yeah, I forgot what team he
how it worked.
I forgot
Yeah,
what
he-
team he
he-
played for, but yeah, Baron Corbin had football experience.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually had legit experience.
Okay.
He played for the
But still,
Patriots.
he's no Ernie Ladd.
No.
I think he played on one of the Patriots Super Bowl teams.
Oh damn!
I was impressed by the actual lockup and strength tests that actually happened. Went, wow, actual lockups and strength tests. What the hell was that? Oh, he botched. He's supposed to be dropped over the rope. Al punched to the face from the rope. That was actually pretty good. Corbin likes to slide under the ropes for some reason. There was a lot of that. Enziguri followed by standing moonsault. Great athleticism from Cruz. Why the fuck did he go around the steps to get to the turnbuckle? I guess Corbin decided. I think it was Corbin who decided to go around the steps and then up onto the turn. I don't know. I don't get that. Crowd wasn't into the. There wasn't a whole lot of crowd into the match. Crude was into booing Corbin. Why are we getting an interview with this kid? He's a thing because
it's a new Nickelodeon show.
Again, he's a thing because
that's what some of the former writers came from.
And the final reaction of the pre-show, that necklace around Renee's neck makes her head look detachable.
That's probably what attracted Dean Ambrose to
Dean Ambrose, I was gonna say.
It wasn't like that just got laid look like at SummerSlam though.
No.
Oh, that's true.
God.
No, it wasn't. Okay, so we're actually going into the pay-per-view now.
So now we're in the pay-per-view.
Finally, thank you, Will, for the introduction of Backlash.
Well, Backlash, which was rather, let's see here. I really like how they've gone with the blue theme for the pay-per-view. I really do. I love the way that they're doing that. It really differentiates, the difference between the two. I really like that. I mean, it's
really badass, especially the one with the Dean AJ face off with the eyes ice blue.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic. Shane comes out in a third of a suit and really large shoes. Very clear he's not going to let Reebok dictate advertising terms with those big shoes.
Shane is a notorious sneakerhead. I think he gets a new pair. I swear he gets a new pair every time he steps on the TV. So
Daniel Bryan can still draw a crowd, and he doesn't even have to wrestle.
I think that's why they brought him onto SmackDown as a general manager.
Let's see here. So it's just the Americans that have the different broadcasting teams. The language teams have to work all 19 shows. Well, it gives them work.
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown definitely has the better show, mostly because people know who Mauro Ranallo is. So Shane and Daniel are recapping what we already know, so we're just taking time. Oh, we're having the bathroom break match early. Which I found out I was completely wrong. 6-pack challenge going into the women's title. Natty's starting to sway her hips a bit.
I'm not complaining about that.
All right. Uh-oh, here comes the epilepsy. This isn't that's epilepsy. That outfit is a mess. It looks like they took silly string and decided that the design worked.
And apparently she kept that outfit for SmackDown, but we'll go into that later.
What is with that hand thing that Alexa has? Does she have a thing for 7 of 9 from Voyager? I thought Carmella was Jersey Girl. She really needs Enzo and Cass.
Unfortunately, she does. Like this whole Princess Carmella thing. It can only start for a feud with Nikki Bella, but after that, where does she go?
Well, don't forget, they practically turned that poor girl heel overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has more charismatic. She has a more charismatic face. She's trying to be a villain. It's not working. Some people could play the bad guy. Some people can only play the good guy. And some people could do in between. And sadly, Carmella can only play the good guy for now.
Yeah, well, she hasn't figured that out yet. And here comes Cena's booty call. I mean, look, she shook it. Clearly, it worked on John Cena. Carmella has a glowy thing on her shoulder. Couldn't figure out what it was. Lynch looks rather plain with her top compared to Technicolor Vomit.
You mean she wasn't? You mean she wasn't trying to give the audience a seat during the first match? You don't say.
Let's see here. Okay, Naomi's kicks are absolutely useless. What I was referring to, where she starts doing the double kicks one after the other into the sides of whomever the hell she was hitting, causing no damage whatsoever.
Plus, she had about like 6 or 7 botches in like the first 2-3 minutes of that match alone.
Yeah, let's see here. Natty to Carmella to throw into the Natty to Carmella throw into the barricade. More Al double knees. Bliss to Bella. I just noticed Nikki Bella is Bella number 2, so Brie is number 1.
Yeah, she's been number 1, but we don't and probably won't be back for a long time, if ever.
That's
Carmella's super kick's better than the Young Bucks.
Hashtag fuck the Bucks. Anyway.
Wait a second. Alabama slam from Nikki Bella? The fuck?
You mean someone put a gun to her head and taught her some wrestling moves?
Taught her some... I know. Particularly something that Hardcore Holly did. Holy shit.
There doesn't another person that no one could stand.
Yeah, really. Well, makes sense. There doesn't seem to be any real investment at that point in time. Who's really the babyface? Who's really the heel? We really can't tell in this match. And the human glow stick with the springboard plancha nearly botches but pulls it off.
I'm pretty sure Matthews is having fun cutting together this botchamania as we speak, but go ahead.
Yep. Why are they throwing people out of the ring?
I need to say something about that, by the way.
Go ahead.
I was having flashbacks to Royal Rumble 90. It's like they were it's almost like they told the chicks that this is a battle royal, much like they told Greg Valentine and Ronnie Garvin that pins count in a submission match.
Oh boy, that was a great.
Gosh. Okay, so how did that hurt Natty and Naomi gets the pinfall? I guess there was a move there. Mauro with the iPhone 7 reference. Naomi botches Skin the Cat. For those of you that don't know what Skin the Cat is, that's going over the top rope while still holding on and then pulling yourself back in.
Most known by Shawn Michaels.
3 times, by the way. 3 times, by the way.
Yep. Let's see here. I'll take the forearm. Wow, that was such a shitty chap. Everyone takes everyone out. Holy shit, Bella is gone. Whoa.
Because
How the fuck did that happen?
3 of you guys vote for Nikki Bella. Only me and
Ninja. I did.
Only me and Ninja vote for someone else. Go ahead.
Remember, I don't trust creative.
Me neither.
I didn't either.
So let's see here. Carmella doing her best Vicky Guerrero impression.
What,
oh gosh.
To the top of her lungs?
Yes. Lynch grabbing that ass. Woo! I take back the super kick comment. Fuck the Bucks still.
Yep.
Hey man, fuck them both.
Let's see here. And new. I think we all know what that leads to. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Hopefully she'll do better than Sheamus.
I'm so glad I was wrong.
No. Here's the thing, though. At least Becky has a personality.
Yeah. Well, like I say, hopefully she'll do better than Sheamus.
And she doesn't look like the Red Rooster either.
No. That doesn't help. Yeah. Although to be fair, Sheamus has better hair to pull that off.
That's true.
Yes, but also, whenever I see Becky now and I see her long ass hair, for some reason I'm all of a sudden thinking of Midna from Twilight Princess. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
Seriously, just put her with a long cloak, and actually all of a sudden it's like, oh, there she is for Halloween.
That's like something you got to Photoshop together for the
Yeah, really. For the next week's podcast.
Hey, if someone can pull that together, go ahead.
Okay, let's see here. Miz with the crap jacket.
Fuck the Miz.
Yep. Miz was in the Marine movies. I'm glad I didn't watch the other two afterwards. I saw the one with Ted DiBiase Jr. and John Cena. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
And don't forget, Lord Cat will force you to watch those movies at Secret Project very soon.
No, not really, because remember, Lord Cat, Jason already went through the first two movies. The only one left is Marine 5. Go ahead.
Let's see here.
Which also stars him is.
Yeah, Jagger is just wow, what a useless segment. What a useless, absolutely useless segment. Then we go on to the injury. Randy Orton out with a leg injury instead of the non-cleared I have a concussion deal. So is there not even a match? Get into that later. And now we go into the tag match, the first tag match. Usos versus the Hype Bros. Usos not in paint. That's actually good. They just be in the hood, yo.
That's what I saw.
Number one in the hood.
Unfortunately, they are taking a Jamal approach to dress.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is trying a Roman Reigns approach with their clothing. The hell is written on the black tape under Raleigh's eyes?
What, something was written on Raleigh's eyes?
Probably, he's got little black tape underneath, and there's something under there.
Probably something about hype or something.
Yeah, it's like, if anything, it's always hype, yeah. It's either like Hype Bros or just both of them say hype.
Or Hype Bros.
So far, the only thing with any hype that's not deserved seems to be the Hype Bros. Zach down live. He's wearing the wrong colors if he's trying to pun the show. He was wearing red tights, not blue. Raleigh has the excitement of a coked up Jim Duggan flying shoulder tackle to both Usos.
That's awesome.
Okay, and this is beginning to become a pet peeve of mine. I'm beginning to notice the whole idea of a tag on the back. It's not an actual tag, it's a slap to the back. Both Usos following the Shane McMahon example of really large shoes. I do like how the Usos are going to more ground tactics now, not all high flying.
Because they're heels, it's not just the heels.
But it also shows that they're showing a different side of them in their ground game, and I think that's going to make them more useful in the long run. Do you think anyone has gotten
big bucks?
Because even Jeff Hardy had to come down from the ground, come back down to the ground recently, but we'll get into that later. Go ahead.
Let's see here. Let's see here. Do you think anyone in that family has gotten to tattooing their crotch like Peter Maivia in that family?
Oh gosh.
That's something I do not want to think about.
Considering at least 3 of us know somebody who decided to do something with their dick and a Sharpie.
We'll tell you that story later, fellas.
Some other time. Nice counter with the neck breaker. Counter from the suplex. This is when I figure out what it says on the black tape. Oh, it says "Stay hyped." Isn't that useless? You can't use twin tactics when one of them is wearing a shirt. You stupid idiot!
Wait, they tried to use twin. Never mind the fact they have tattoos on different parts of their bodies.
Yeah.
Well,
Ryder is very.
To go back a little bit. Remember, they used to try to pull the twin tactics with freaking Bill Eadie. With Edie and Darso, because those two look so freaking identical.
And they even try it with the Bellas, even though one of them's a bit more artificially stacked than the other. But
well, they were able to do it before though. That actually worked a lot better.
Before the implants had worked, I couldn't tell them apart.
Good point.
Let's see here. Ryder, good at getting the sympathy. Definitely not Ricky Morton level, though. The Coke wasn't over there, Raleigh. I think he ran into a pole at some point. Holy crap, a submission for a win?
Oh, yeah, that little leg submission that the Usos use now.
Yeah, great use of the knee attacks at the end. I think they should have used that a lot more. Let's see here. Then they go through so I really liked that match. I thought it showcased the Usos' different side, not just as heels, but also as ground people, using submissions. It's definitely way more over. They definitely are getting a lot of the heat that they want. They're doing a way better job than another member of their family. I really like this match.
Oops, sorry.
Go ahead. Other than somebody.
Stop taking a shower. We're doing a show.
Oh. Go ahead.
Right. So I guess here then we go into the interview with Heath and Rhino. All I got out of it was two things. One, Heath needs to take a crap. Little did I know how right I was. And then the last thing was, Rhino left out in the cold.
But yeah, the Usos changing their style, I guess, to help fit their more heel personality. They're not flying over the ring. They're not doing the. Well, I think last time they did the Samoan dive, but still, obviously.
But I mean, that's tradition.
Yeah, obviously stuff to bring. Yeah, obviously stuff.
expected.
Yeah, of course, but obviously stuff to bring down the crowd and not hype them up. So yeah, this match was a good build to help build on the Usos as credible heels.
It did help, and I think that for what they were doing for this match, it did help them say, "Hey, we're heels. See what we can do next."
It's like, now you can actually boo us. Now you can
Now you have a reason to boo us. Yay!
Yes. All right.
All
so
right,
now
and now
the Intercontinental Championship, Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz.
Well,
Just remember, OVW taught Ziggler how to wrestle. John Laurinaitis taught him how to golf and cheerlead.
there you go.
Miz insulting Bryan, I think we'll get a run in. Sadly, that didn't happen. I remember
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was actually expecting Daniel Bryan to do something at the end of the match, to be honest.
So did I.
so did I. I expected him to do something to like screw Miz over.
Yeah.
Screaming for it. Like, come on, let's go.
Yeah. Let's see here. I remember that Intercontinental belt being bigger.
Maybe they
It's the
shrunk
same size.
Maybe they
Well,
shrunk
I
it to
think-
make it look decent on the Miz. Who knows?
Well, no, I think they shrank the belt a while ago because the original IC belt I think actually was bigger.
Yeah.
The one that most people remember that the design is based off of.
The perfect
belt.
The perfect belt, yes.
Oh, that's the perfect belt. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the Bret Hart belt, or the Shawn Michaels belt, or the Owen Hart belt. Anyway, I'll shut up. Let's see here. Ziggler going for the jiu-jitsu in the beginning. I actually like that. I always appreciate it when people grapple on the ground and do passes. Otunga got thrown under the bus. He admits he needs help getting it off.
I'm not touching that with 10-foot pole.
That's someone better not mention it to his wife. Anyway, The Miz sporting a haircut from the 1990s. Because I guess the gel didn't hold in place, and all of a sudden he started looking like Spoonie.
Oh wow! The jacket.
Oh,
we already mentioned
the jacket. We already knew it was a crap jacket back when they were doing whatever. Let's see here. Ziggler takes really good bumps, sometimes a bit too good. Once again with the bumps. Let's see here. Ziggler wanting to pull the ZZW lever as Ziggler says Jesus, and it gets caught on the microphone. Now this is how you do multiple hits. There was a triple drop kick that happened. That hit post. That post hit. Excuse me. I guess I think there was somebody I think that was the Miz actually taking the post hit. At that point, Miz actually taking a page out of Tully Blanchard. Rope to sit down powerbomb. He picked him up and then he used the rope to spring him down under the powerbomb. That was actually It still sucked, but I was like, wow, at least he tried.
Yeah, King of Soft style.
Yeah. Dolph selling the leg again. Golly? Otunga with the golly? Why did he say golly? Yeah. He actually. Ziggler is still selling. Fantastic. Great use of false finishes. I really like the false finishes. Wow, selling the injury with a carry. Ziggler was trying to pick Miz up in a fireman's carry, and he's still selling the leg the entire time. Unfortunately, Miz wins.
Unfortunately, we all knew this was going to come. I think they're trying to book Ziggler as the guy who always gets close to the blast ring, but never quite snatches it down.
Well, I honestly think that while unfortunately Miz won the way he was supposed to.
Like a villain by cheating.
Like a villain.
Like with his
right.
wife
And the funny thing about that, Mace or whatever the fuck it was, the funny thing about it is, I guess the reaction on SmackDown was Ziggler comes in, gets mostly cheers, some boos. Miz comes in with his wife. Miz gets mostly boos, but some cheers. Miz Frenchie gets all the boos. So his wife is a better heel than him.
Well, they are a team. They are basically a team. So, also, here's something I want to put out, and it's like some people might know this. Both the USA and IC are a husband and wife combination.
Yeah.
I think that they kind of did that on purpose.
Here's something else I wanted to point out. I saw a meme on the internet the other day. It was a picture of Miz, Eva Marie, and Maurice, and it said, "This is the only picture the Miz will ever be the best wrestler in."
I saw that.
It's like I'm just collecting title cards to use for the future episode.
But can I ask an honest question, though?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Did anyone, did anyone at the end of the match think, okay, now Bryan's going to come out and either strip Miz of the belt or restart the match?
I
honestly thought he was going to do that, yeah. I was like, he's going to probably just, with the whole contract thing, I thought he'd tell him, you know what? Go ahead, take the belt, commission the new belt, and that's it.
Well, and the other thing about it is the way they could have done it, and I don't know if they did it in single on SmackDown. Excuse me. The way they really could have done it, because I don't get SmackDown, is look. Yes, you won the title, but who really won the title and who got away with it? You didn't actually win the title, so those contract negotiations are null and void.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, you're getting rebooked against Ziggler. Maurice is barred from ringside, and let's take a page out of old NWA. Let's put her in a cage and string her up high.
Well,
there you go.
Jumping ahead quite a bit, they did try that on SmackDown, and complete with you're getting a rematch with Ziggler. Maurice is banned from ringside, but Miz said, "Nope, I'm the champion until my contract is renegotiated. I am not going to fight. I'm going to fight when I want to fight."
And this is when nobody takes wrestling belts seriously now. If it was back in the day, that belt would have been stripped.
Yep.
Let's continue.
But I actually think this is going to help because now it's going to be showing that Ziggler wants that belt bad, and I actually think it's actually going to build it up pretty well.
Yeah, but
this will help. This feud helps Ziggler a lot. It will really help Ziggler a lot. The problem is the way that they're handling the story. But No Mercy will or No Mercy. Fuck you, Miss Frenchie.
No Mercy.
We'll definitely tell that. So we have a glitch. We already know about the injury to Orton because they showed the vignette again, partially for some reason. Bray Wyatt comes out and he clearly needs to wash his hair. I hate dreadlocks like that.
And his gear looked like he was fucking rolling around in sewage before he freaking came out.
Well, to be fair, what was the last big name match he won other than other than this past Sunday? But go ahead.
Let's see here. We now have the announcement. I like the way they handled the forfeit. Classic Sherry Martel did the same thing with what was it, Sapphire?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. I love that. I love that. Oh dear, who's Bray getting? Wait. This is a no holds barred match. Well, I guess it ain't Mick Foley.
I think at that point all of us thought, okay, and Orton's going to interfere in 3, 2.
Okay,
Well,
it's just
they called the
Kane.
match No Holds Barred. It would have been a good time to bring in Tiny Lister.
Yeah, well.
But we got Kane instead. Go ahead,
Okay,
Bill.
okay, it's Kane. This just became a squash. And here goes the Spanish announcer table. And Kane just got his bell rung. Kane's definitely gained some weight. And he seems to be losing hair from the back of his head.
The wig,
The
the
wig
wig
probably
ain't,
came loose.
I'm about to say the wig ain't covering it no more, isn't it?
Well, it's not just that. It's because the fake hair flopped over and you could see the shaved head on the back of his head. So this isn't a squash? I guess they're really trying to fill in Taxman. I'm sorry, fill time. I just went into my next line. Wyatt screams, "I am a god!" My response, "And your father's a taxman."
But I guess what happened was since
and your brothers are drunk.
Damn it! I stole my line.
you gotta be fast here, John. But
Drunk as Widowmaker.
oh, don't say Widowmaker. I just have bad series of matches in Overwatch. Go ahead.
Let's see here. The ECW audience in the arena wants the Dudleys to come back. There's a table chant. And they get the tables or not. Well, there was pretty good drama build up there. There goes the table, and the ECW audience gets the holy shit chants. The audience boos because they want another table? What yutzes?
Because you can't just destroy the Spanish announce table. You gotta take the English one with it. They're like brothers.
Yeah.
Table
Let's
the
see.
beat, too.
Yep. Bray Wyatt giving himself a blood rush. He's flipping himself upside down while holding on to the turnbuckle. And Orton gets a pop, then copies AJ Styles on the way out.
Well, I didn't see they do the phenomenal hand thing.
It wasn't the phenomenal hand thing. It was the jacket with the hood.
Oh, that.
That's an AJ Styles thing. Kane wins with the choke slam. That was utterly useless. The match was okay, I guess, but
like I said, I think they were trying to fill time because Orton probably did not get cleared to wrestle, and he needed to fill out the time.
He didn't. So they made up a reason why instead of using the actual reason why. But whatever. Which leads us to new SmackDown tag match: Usos versus Heath Slater, Rhino. Did one of the Usos just use electrical tape to fix his pants?
I think so.
To fix his shirt, he put the tape over his nips.
Yeah. It's over his nipples because all he was doing was going, ooh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, Jimmy, what are you doing? What?
Slater has 7 kayfabe kids. To paraphrase Arn Anderson...
No, 47.
No, he said 7 kids.
That he
7
knows
kids
of.
that he knows of. 7 kids that he knows of. Slater has 7 kayfabe kids. To paraphrase Arn Anderson, Heath, you have enough cum in you to shampoo a buffalo.
There you go.
That line was you got to understand to that line was actually used to Tony Schiavone. Schiavone actually has 4 kids.
Yeah.
And I guess Schiavone
Wait. So you mean to tell me somebody actually had sex with Tony Schiavone and reproduced
4 times?
4 times.
4 times.
And so apparently, as the story goes, a bunch of people were at the airport, and Schiavone comes in, and Arn Anderson's there, and a whole bunch of other people are there. Schiavone gets out of the passenger seat, and he's coming out of a station wagon, of course. Comes out, all of a sudden you hear this screaming and yelling and all that shit from the kids, right? Gets all the stuff out of the car, closes the doors, immediate silence, thing takes off, and Arn Anderson then goes, Schiavone, you have enough cum in you to shampoo a buffalo.
Oh, fucking lie.
So that's
Anyway.
There are certain people you just don't mess with. Late Roddy Piper, Bobby Heenan, and Arn Anderson. They're just those are people you don't fuck with. They were. Let's see here. So I guess Slater. Let's see here. I do like Slater's new look. He doesn't look as much of a douche as he used to.
Ding ding ding.
Let's see here. I think I think Slater was getting hit a whole bunch of times. I said, I just hope giant wads of tissues don't come out of Slater's tights as he's being hit around. Almost all of you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. As long as we didn't see what the crab cakes looked like after, I was good.
Yeah. For those of you, just look up John Nord, Dusty Rhodes. Just look that up.
Or don't, if you want to preserve your sanity.
Well, it's not the match; it's just the story. It's just in all caps, will they stop with the non-tag tags? I don't know why I wrote this. There needs to be a double ride chant. Oh, that's why, because said it wrong. There needs to be a double wide chant.
Oh,
double wide. That would be great. That would have been great. I guess the homework of this match was who gets the most Ricky Morton sympathy. Great double teaming. Usos really reveling the heel stuff. I really like that. I'd still wish they make actual tags. It's good to see Cinderella stories that end well, taking a line from Morrow. I still don't like the noise Heath Slater makes, and Rhino needs some cheese whiz. With that, Heath Slater, Rhino winning the first SmackDown Tag Team Champions of this era.
And Heath Slater's finally signed to SmackDown.
Yeah, he got himself a contract, and then at the end of the match he says, "Daddy's getting a double wide."
Yep. I think the double wide chant would actually work for him.
It was really cool to see. It was totally the feel-good moment of the show.
Yes.
Especially the fact that when most of their matches, it's usually Slater gets his ass destroyed and then Rhino comes in and hits the gore.
Yeah.
The fact that they did the thing where Slater tagged himself in and he got the win with the Sweetness DDT. Yes, yeah. I actually know the name of his finish. That's how much the guy.
Well, he would have got the win if one of the Usos didn't pull him out the ring at the last minute. But this gave Brown the opening he needed to finish off with the gore, and Slater actually get the pinfall.
Exactly,
well,
and
this crap all over my segment.
I'm sorry.
All right, so there's a little vignette in the middle for King of Fighters, Kentucky Fried Chicken. At which point I go. So this is the real impetus for the Miz Ziggler matches.
Yeah, Miz
and now we have the match of the night: CZW versus TNA. Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles.
No, you have to correct yourself. The best of CZW that's still alive versus the best of TNA.
TNA. This is true. Well, let's add those clarifiers there. It's still hard to cut out the cheers for AJ Styles. Really hard for them to cut them out. As much of a heel as he's being, and AJ's being a heel, he really is. It's just that so many people respect him that you can't that they're going to cheer for him no matter what.
Exactly.
It's going to be the same thing for Dean Ambrose now that he's been in the position that he's in.
Go ahead, Lou.
I said we've been waiting for AJ to get to the big show for years.
Yeah.
So he
AJ's. Let's see here. AJ's. Go ahead.
People cheer for him.
Go ahead.
He could burn the building.
Out there and torch the building, and people will still cheer for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he could. AJ still making the armband hold his soccer mom hair. AJ
very
starting.
Stylish.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I said very stylish. Puns.
AJ starting with wrestling, surprisingly. I love the trash talk being picked up between the two, being picked up by the mic. Classic double arm drags to body slam. AJ doing heel things. The audience is behind him to a degree. Dean is really good at taking punishment. Again, he's really good at taking punishment. There was a shoulder tackle miss into the post.
And he can sell.
Yeah, he's selling real good.
He really sell, yeah.
Let's see here. Fan favorite, Ambrose is getting booed. If you notice that, Ambrose was actually getting booed.
Which is weird, because he's a face.
Yeah.
Well, so remember, with the interwebs, it's cool to boo the popular guys now.
Oh.
Of course.
Oh, great, they're hipsters.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Morrow looking really concerned over both participants. I think there was a point where he was looking and they were both kind of on the ground, and Morrow has this look on his face like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on?
Which there was a good amount of them on that match.
Yeah, well, Morrow knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
God forbid you have a freaking play-by-play guy that knows what he's doing in 2000.
I know, huh? I know, huh?
I mean, we're so...
Wow, everyone is attacking body parts for the Calf Crusher setup. Oh, wow, okay.
Trait.
Yep. Okay, that's one way to get out of the Calf Crusher. I don't know what drove me to say this, but I said, oh, holy fuck. Slingshot into the post from the edge of the ring. Okay, that's what got me to do that.
That's what brought the holy fuck out of
The
me.
holy fuck, yeah, because that's really dangerous.
Yeah.
Holy crap, an inside cradle from Dean Ambrose. I mean, that's something that
was a surprise.
Ambrose has grown way beyond CZW.
Thank God.
Okay, I was afraid AJ might try a burning hammer. Please don't do one of those. AJ taking the bump to the floor from the drop kick to the tope. Ambrose with the clothesline going to Dirty Deeds. I like the ref bump. Dick kick city. That is an actual shirt that Brian Zane puts out. I really do want to get that shirt. New champion! We have a new champion!
Freaking amazing.
And then
I know, right?
And then my last comment for the entire thing. Ha! He's holding the belt over his shoulder like Jeff Jarrett did the NWA title.
Yeah.
He puts one strap underneath the actual belt.
But yeah, I know I voted for Styles on this show, but I'm still pleasantly surprised that he actually won. Because yeah, I voted for Styles, but I guess I had the back of my mind that says, yeah, they're gonna wait till Survivor Series.
And I'm sitting here going, holy crap, who the fuck is booking this? Triple H?
Won't be surprised.
Yeah.
Somebody who actually has some idea of what the fuck is going on?
Since the old man was in the hospital, that's how they got that pay-per-view off.
Oh shit! Much better than David Otunga can get himself off. Anyway, that's all the notes I got.
Well, we pretty much covered the pay-per-view then, except Styles.
Oh well, I mean, I do have to say this. AJ, yeah, I know another stupid pun. AJ winning the belt was simply phenomenal. It was just amazing to see, especially for someone basically seeing him from the beginning.
Like he went through TNA during their glory years. They went through New Japan and now WWF champion, and of course ROH. We can't forget that.
Yeah, I was going to say you've almost forgot Ring of Honor.
Remember, he was never Ring of Honor world champion. He was pure champion. He was never world champion in ROH.
Pure champion. My mistake.
Yeah.
But still, to go through all those federations and win a major title in every major federation, that's impressive, especially today.
And also another thing you have to realize, remember how shittily he was treated on the way out of TNA.
Yeah.
He was basically told he wasn't worth, you're not worth the money. That's why we're not going to pay this big money to keep you. We want you to take this huge pay cut.
And look at them, and look at TNA's position now. If it wasn't for the Hardy Boys, would they still be in business? Well, the Hardy Boys and Bill Corgan.
Yeah, I think Dixie would be out turning tricks at this point. I don't think she's even good at that. Anyway,
on to Monday Night Raw, where we start
where I stay silent because I can't watch them.
Yeah, still, we need to say something though. The fact that if you would have asked us in the late last year that in 2016 you would have Kevin Steen, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura as your three major champions in WWE, we would have been called crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy. Use those names.
Sting for those who haven't watched The Independents is Kevin Owens, but go ahead. So we're on to Raw, and I partially had to stay silent since I worked during Raw, but we start with the women all in the ring. Them announcing... Well, go ahead, you guys.
Yeah, well, the opening segment was basically that whole thing with Dana Brooke, Charlotte,
Oh
Dana
yeah.
Brooke, Bailey, and Sasha, where they basically had this. Basically, they told them, "Hey, we're gonna have Sasha versus Bailey, and the winner will get a shot at Charlotte." Then Dana turned around and basically smacks the shit out of Charlotte. It's like, oh, you know what? You're feisty. We're gonna put you in there. We're gonna make this a triple threat.
Oh gosh, that's terrible.
Well, at least Dana Brooke finally broke off from Charlotte, I guess I assume.
No, because technically they didn't break them off. Literally afterwards, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It was just I had to take the opportunity."
But
And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Raw was boring.
I've
Yeah.
heard that's
During
why
Raw,
the clips I managed to watch was like, this is it. Even the New Day, who usually entertains me, I'm like, this is it, really?
I literally fell asleep during Raw like 3 times. I would wake up.
Same here.
So we'll just hammer through some of the notes real quick. Sasha Banks is the winner of the Triple Threat, and she'll face Charlotte at Clash of Champions for the women's title.
Where she'll probably resume her title reign
Yeah, because
since her back isn't so bad.
yeah,
Makes Lewis sad to hear Clash of Champions and know that Dusty Rhodes isn't involved.
Yeah.
we'll consider it a part of Dusty's memory. Cesaro wins, which of course we all predicted will bring the series to 3-2.
And nobody still cares.
No,
It looks Chris Jericho attacks Sami Zayn during the highlight reel. So there's
I cannot wait to see that match.
Uh-huh.
So I'm about to say, so there's something to actually look forward to for Clash of Champions, because that's going to be damn good.
yeah. Well, hopefully everyone will pay attention to the match and not Chris Jericho's deformed pec.
Nia Jax has bumped up.
Both guys show up with their working boots. Let's just put it at that one.
Yeah. Nia Jax has bumped up from annihilating jobbers to annihilating people on the actual main roster as she murderizes Alicia Fox.
Yay!
Alicia Fox isn't a jobber?
Well, you know what I mean.
She's a-
Alicia Fox is on the main roster? Who the fuck are you anyway?
She's a former Divas champion.
She was?
Yeah.
She was Kevin Dunn's crush at one point. I guess he lost interest.
Oh, fuck Bucky Beaver and his teeth.
Alicia, I love you, Alicia. Fucking douchebag.
They had a segment with New Day saying Gallows and Anderson are not entertainers, hence sets up their next tag team
That
title match.
segment was not entertaining.
That's what I was about to say. Usually the New Day gives me some form of entertainment. This wasn't it, but this sets up yet another tag team title match at Clash of Champions. Does anyone? Hopefully that's the one Gallows and Anderson finally win. I like the New Day, but I like the New Day, but at this rate, they're not going to beat Demolition's record.
They better not.
Yeah. And, of course, the main event was Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. If Roman wins the main event, the Clash of Champions will be a triple threat. But
it was actually Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns.
I'm sorry, my bad. But, yeah, like I said, SmackDown Raw was kind of boring. Thankfully, Rusev ran in, interfered, match went to...
Whoever didn't see that coming, yeah.
Yeah. So now it's going to be Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, and chances are it's going to be Rusev versus Roman at Clash of Champions. This Raw was kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
It was very boring.
Well, at the same time, what they're trying to do at this point is they're trying to lead into the next pay-per-view, which is what, next week?
The week after.
The week after. Okay, so I expect the next week's Raw to be hopefully a bit better than this one, and then the blow-off will be a lot better from Clash of Champions.
Hopefully, because I know the SmackDown just had a pay-per-view, and this isn't the go-home show to the pay-per-view, but yeah, this just looked like, okay, we're going to do things by the numbers tonight. Very little things to get excited about, except for the Jericho Sting match.
Now, the only thing that, again, I do not trust creative, and remember, who's a major figure on Raw?
Triple H? Stephanie McMahon?
No. There you go, the head of creative.
Oh.
I don't trust creative. Anyway.
Creative in name only.
So
Well, let's hopefully Dewey Foley gets up from writer's assistant to writer, and maybe he'll actually do something better.
hopefully he can inject
Every time I think of the writers, I think of that monkey writer room from Family Guy.
Well, even a monkey can get some stuff right, but even a monkey can get some stuff right, but a monkey can't book.
Good point. All right, so SmackDown, which was ironically enough a much better show, they changed the intro already to feature Styles with the belt. The champ that runs the camp comes to the ring first, so of course Cena has to come out shortly afterwards.
I should have kept my mouth shut.
Yes, you should have. And of course, Dean Ambrose was right behind him.
And Dean Ambrose told Cena the truth.
Yeah, because I'm skipping the notes because the promos tonight were kind of real close. As in, you had the Ambrose telling off Cena, you had Cena telling off Ambrose. Later on, you had what was the other big promo that made me go, "Oh, okay, that was a little that was a little mean, actually."
Yeah, they were going into each other. AJ went into both of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, at No Mercy, it's going to be a triple threat between Cena, Ambrose, and AJ for the WWF World Heavyweight title. The Hype Brothers versus the Usos. The Hype Brothers versus the Usos had a rematch. They were selling the fact that Zack Ryder still has leg injured from back. It's leg injured. The Usos took advantage.
It's like I told John. Yeah, it's like I told John last night. I said, look at that. Someone's selling an injury.
Yeah, really.
That's rare.
What a concept.
Mojo Rally did the pounce. I think Will talked about it a little earlier. But
Sir, you said it wrong. It's the
pounce.
Period.
Even I knew that one. Holy shit.
I really like
that's when TNA was actually good.
I really like Monty Brown.
Who was the guy that made that up? Marcus Corvon? I'm sorry, I should be shot for saying that.
Brown.
I love me some Monty Brown. Monty Brown was great.
That guy was entertaining as hell. My friend Gabe is going to hear this and put his fucking head through the wall since I'm putting Monty Brown.
Yes.
He's gonna fucking call me out on it. You fucking Mark putting Monty Brown over. Like, dude, shut up. The guy was gold.
Hey, I'll be fair. Going off script for a second. A lot of people say that what's his name? Mongo McMichael was a horrible horseman. I say he did his job well. He was big, he was intimidating, and no, he wasn't a technical wrestling genius, but he made you think he could kick your ass, and in real life he really can't.
He was a better horseman than Roma.
Everyone was a better horseman was Roma.
But that goes back. But then again, that goes back to what I said last week about it. It's like saying I'd rather shit my pants than piss them.
Anyway, as I said earlier, Miz comes out, Daniel Bryan comes out and says, "Hey Miz, since you pretty much cheated to keep your belt, we're gonna have a rematch at No Mercy, you versus Ziggler. Maurice is banned from ringside." And Miz says, "No, we will not have a match until you renegotiate my contract, and until then, I'm walking out." Which I said, wait, can't Daniel just say, "Well, you refuse the match? Okay, we'll strip you the title right here and then."
Exactly. What the hell's the problem with that?
Because the thing with that though, with the storyline, one, that requires thinking.
Yeah.
Two, also with the storyline, there's another way you can go about it where Ziggler could be like, "I've busted my ass for years. I'm trying to regain my spot on the top. I don't want a belt handed to me." So I could understand that from somewhat of a storyline point. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, to me, that makes the belt look weak and Bryan look weak as a commissioner for not enforcing the rules.
Well, I don't think Bryan is meant to look strong in this role. He's not supposed to be at this point. I think you could do a mix of both things. You can have Bryan introduce the strip. Okay, I think that Miz could be stripped of the title next week.
Yeah.
And then what you do is go, okay, look, you forced me into this position. You have a refusal to defend, fine. You've been stripped of the title. And guess what? You want it back? You got to fight Ziggler for it. And guess what?
Go.
Not only you got to fight Ziggler for it, your wife's banned from ringside. You're fucked.
Well, there you go.
There ain't no contract negotiations. There ain't no anything about it. And besides, if you refuse this match, you walk away from this match because you don't want that, fine. I'll just put someone else in place instead of you who wants the title. I'm sure that person will want that title much more than you.
Yeah. There are plenty.
Swagger. It could be Jack Swagger. I really like Jack Swagger.
It could be Jack Swagger. Who cares? Anybody's better than The Miz.
Exactly.
Dutch Mantel is better than The Miz, okay, at this point. So, well, Dutch Mantel is always better than The Miz. So.
Dutch had great matches with Jerry Lawler.
Yes, he did.
Also had a couple good matches with Tommy Dreamer that not many people talk about.
Yeah.
But I digress.
As we said earlier, for some odd reason, Jack Swagger is now on SmackDown. He came out after the rematch between Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin, which turned to no contest because Corbin hit Crews with End of Days outside the ring. Swagger came out, cut a promo, the crowd cheered We the People. I'm actually glad for Jack Swagger to go on SmackDown. It seemed like a much more smaller contained show, and he could probably get over much better than, let's admit, the clusterfuck that's on Raw.
Right.
Because apparently the Raw contracts are only a month long because we've only been about a month into the brand split, and fucking Swagger's contract was supposedly already up. Who knew?
That was weird. But anyway, they have a match between the 5 losing women to decide the new number 1 contender, and Alexa Bliss of all people came out on top to become the new number 1 contender to face against Becky Lynch. This was the match I thought Nikki Bella was going to win. She didn't.
Well, you had 3 ways this could go. You have Nikki Bella trying to reclaim her title. You have Natty Neidhart. Remember the shit that she went through with Becky Lynch for a bit?
That is true.
Dude, you could have that going. And then you have Alexa Bliss, who did pin Becky Lynch at one point, apparently.
Yeah.
So
Alexa
you
Quinn.
have she's definitely Harley right now again, but I don't know why the whole 7 of 9 hand thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's very clear that they're trying to avoid the obvious choice. I pray that it doesn't go into a fatal 4-way or a 3 or a triple threat match, or well, I don't know. A 3-way dance might work, but as opposed to a triple threat. But
if they add Natty to it, I think it would be a solid match.
Natty would be all right, but I don't think Bella would be a good idea.
No one gives a shit about Mrs. Cena.
No one gives a shit about that.
I know I don't.
So, Slayer and Rhino finally come out to celebrate their tag team title.
Can we address something before we go to the tag team title win?
Go ahead.
Why did the WWE have to fuck with my emotions and just show a Kurt Hawkins promo and not let him work?
Oh, right. I forgot. Yes, Kurt Hawkins finally made his debut through a television promo.
And it was like, yeah, the revolution starts tonight. There was no match. I was sad.
I was like, there was no match. He didn't even come out on stage. Anyone else?
And it's like building this for weeks too. Fucking, Hawkins returned. They've been showing these promos. Basically, the promo they showed of him, instead of it being a bunch of still pictures like it's been for the past couple of weeks, it was pretty much him spouting off Chuck Norris facts and sticking his name in them instead. And it was like, oh, the revolution begins tonight, and then nothing was shown. Like the whole time during SmackDown, I'm sitting there like, where's Kurt Hawkins?
Hopefully he shows up next week. Hopefully. I don't know. Oof. But yeah, Slayer and Rhino come out to sign Slayer's official SmackDown contract. He is on the roster. Slater has a job.
And by the way, go a little bit further with that one. I don't know if you guys know this or not. I think Will does because Will knows his shit. And I know John does because me and him talked about it last night. But Slater, have you guys seen Slater's new t-shirt on Shop?
Well, I got kids.
It says, I got kids. I need this job.
Yeah. Shane pointed out during the promo. But go ahead.
Anyone who knows anything about shoots with the Smoky Mountain guys like Cornette, Mantell, and Tracy Smothers, that I got kids, man, is a dig on fucking Tracy Smothers. So much so that Smothers said it on freaking Facebook. He was like, man, that Slater kid's going to owe me royalties for using my shit.
Wow.
I got kids, man.
That was Tracy. I got kids, man. I got kids. I need this job. But I saw that and I'm like, it's hilarious. And like before I could even shoot Tracy a message to see if he's seen it, it literally popped right on my news feed because I'm friends with Smothers on Facebook. It literally popped up right on my Facebook. He's like, that kid owes me royalties for using my shit.
Either you probably wasn't the only one or you sent it. Go ahead, Will.
Who was Dixie Dynamite? No, that wasn't Tracy Smothers. That was...
Oh, Jesus.
I forget who that was, but maybe him and Dixie Dynamite can come back and throw the censors off. Anyway,
Slayer... But their celebration wasn't for long, as the evil Ascension rose up to challenge Slayer and Rhino for the tag team title. Yet Slayer and Rhino win.
Well, remember, the Ascension are not the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
So remember, Slater and Rhino beat the not Road Warriors.
Well, I was sitting there, and I'm like, oh, because me personally, I said it on the podcast last week, at least I think I did. I honestly thought that Slater and Rhino were going to win the tag belts and then drop them on the SmackDown.
We all did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did say that.
We thought I honestly thought the Usos were going to come out.
Either the Usos or some other team. So when the Ascension came out, I'm like, oh, God damn it. The Ascension haven't beaten anyone in 3 years. Why the hell are they going to win the tag belts? Especially since Slater was doing the whole chicken shit. Yeah, well, I did say we'd fight anybody, any place, anytime, but not tonight.
Yeah.
But I am glad that Slayer and Rhino retained longer than 3 days like almost all of us thought. So the main event of the evening. Cena and Ambrose must team up to face Styles and returning Miz, who apparently just wanted to be in the main event. Needless to say...
Just brush over that amazing tag team partner that they originally picked for freaking AJ Styles.
What? I forgot his name. Jimmy, Jake, Johnny.
Let's call him James the Jobber.
He was the first guy that got butt raped by Strowman.
But
He
yeah,
was the first victim of Strowman, and the guy. And you know what's funny? I've seen a couple of his matches, and for an awkward-looking, creepy little dude that looks like someone stuck a Pikmin in a microwave. He's really not that bad of a hand. He can do he can chain wrestle. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh my God, WWE signed him, let him pin Cena with one finger," but
Now, for the background of this match, when Shane McMahon made the triple threat, he said, "But for tonight, the main event will be Cena and Ambrose versus Styles and a partner of his choosing." Problem is, no one in the locker room wanted to touch Styles, so they gave him Jimmy the Jobber as his makeshift partner. Miz runs out from backstage, which I don't know how he got from back there if he left out through the crowd earlier that night, beats up Jimmy the Jobber, and shakes Styles' hands, affirming their partnership, which clearly didn't go well since the faces still won. Cena celebrating, Ambrose looks like he's going to kick Cena's ass, and then he does, with 30 Ds.
Well, that makes sense.
Ambrose needs a new finish.
Well, he doesn't. Well, Ambrose, yes.
Well,
I thought you meant Styles.
Well, he says he uses the double arm DDT as memory of Mick Foley.
Which is fine. I would put me personally, and yeah, I'm gonna hear the groans from John because he knows what a big William Regal mark I am. I want him to use the freaking knee trembler.
I'm not gonna hear no groans from me.
He used it in FCW. That feud with him and Regal, if you did not see any of that stuff, for the love of God, look it up and watch some of those matches. But there was a point where he literally mimicked all of Regal's moves. He would hit the Regal cutter, go to the corner, point, act like his hand was a gun, do the shoot motion, then hit the knee trembler.
I'm not. I can't. Excuse me. I can't groan for one major reason. What Shawn Michaels said to this person that complimented him on his super kick. Oh, you mean that finish I stole from Chris Adams?
I mean, if Shawn Michaels may be one of the biggest pricks in professional wrestling ever, but he at least will credit the people that he stole from. And he'll also credit the people that he took, his style from, not only Gentleman Chris Adams, or as some people might say, misnomer Chris Adams, because Chris Adams was no gentleman.
Yeah.
But he was also complimented on his selling at one point, and he says, "No, Ricky Morton can sell."
Yeah.
And Ricky Morton is just one of those guys that all he did was sell, give the hot tag. He did that in New Japan, and it got over. Selling.
You would want to. His fucking selling was so good. The way he'd get on there, and cringe. The way he'd tighten up his hands.
Yeah.
Like practically begging to get to Robert. There was times, man, you'd want to harp the guardrail and freaking help him out. That's how convincing it was.
That's how good he was, man.
Yeah. I mean, geez, I forgot what we were talking about. I'm sorry I threw us off.
We were talking about Ambrose getting a new finisher. I wouldn't mind him going back to the old way he did Dirty D's, the forward headlock into the face buster. But anyway.
He almost killed someone with it. That's why he stopped doing it.
Oh damn! I thought
didn't he knock Kofi Kingston out with it, legit? They're like, all right, you got to stop doing this.
I thought the curb stomp was a dangerous finisher. Seth Rollins.
They're just trying to avoid concussions.
Yeah, because he knocked Kofi out on one of the shows with the original version of Dirty Deeds.
Good to know. Now, as said at the top of the show, NXT, CWC we'll cover next week. We'll start the show of CWC so we could go through not only the final.
It deserves its own huge episode, just about the entire series,
including the series finale, which, as of the recording of this episode, hasn't aired yet. Which brings us to TNA, the King of the Mountain.
I will have 5 pages of notes on that, by the way.
Put them on the Google Doc so we can all keep up with them this time.
Is it going to be like Nick's first book where you're filling up notebooks, brother?
Probably, except I actually type. He writes.
Actually, he learned to type.
He learned to type, but he still likes writing first before he can type.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to get your notes down before you could start writing something. So, the King of the Mountain title, brainchild of Jeff Jarrett, has officially been retired and replaced by the Impact Grand Championship, which just like the King of the Mountain title, has its own unique set of rules, and thankfully nowhere near as convoluted. It'll be 3 3-minute matches based on a 10-point must system. If there's no pinfall or submissions by the end of the 3rd round, it will go to scorecards to determine the winner.
What the fuck is this? The fucking Brawl for All?
They basically using catch wrestling rules.
Yeah.
It still sounds like the fucking Brawl for All. I really hope it doesn't die out the way Dr. Death Steve Williams' career died out when he got busted in the head.
Well, this is a brand new championship, so it's not going to be a short tournament. These are going to be matches that's going to be part of TNA now.
The Brawl for All was actually legit.
That was the other problem.
7 of the 8 guys that were in the tournament got fucking hurt.
Including Dr. Death himself, who was supposed to win the damn thing. Or they thought we were going to win the damn thing.
Now, by the way, one of the most amazing in-ring talents. Him and Terry Gordy, Miracle Violence combination. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm sorry I went off track.
It's all right, but do you know why the Brawl for All was made, right?
Just to put
Dr. Death over?
No, because Vince Russo hated JBL.
That was one of the other reasons, because he wanted to see JBL get cracked.
Yep.
Really? I did not.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did not know that either.
Yep, that shit stain actually wanted another shit stain to get his ass whooped.
So Russo admitted that during one of his podcasts that
Russo should have been there for that tour in Kuwait.
but yeah, Russo
Styles dropped him.
Russo admitted that in one of the podcasts, one of the reasons for the Brawl for All, because JBL, who's a notorious bully, in some cases still is, was talking shit, so threw him in the Brawl for All, hoping to get this shit cracked. and Bart Gunn did the job.
Yeah. It took 4 rounds, but it did it.
But yeah, we're on TNA now, so let's actually get to the event. Everybody, huh?
I don't know. It's just
impressive. We can look back at WrestleMania 15 and that 10-round classic he had with Butterbean.
Let's not remember that. Anyway,
that 10-second classic. Anyway,
to me that Grand Championship just seems like a way to get to Bound for Glory with Galloway and Damian Sandow. You know, Aaron Rex as they call him now.
Yeah, I like Damian Sandow better too.
Same here. Or Aaron Stevens, his real name. I don't know. Anyway, let's actually get to the main event of TNA.
Delete or Decay? Oh.
Delete! Delete!
Amazing. It was done so well. There was so much hokey shit that was so cool during that match.
I mean, even before the match, you went, wow, did they really do this? Like,
did any of you guys watch the director's cut on YouTube yet?
Yes, I did.
no.
I still haven't.
Man. Oh my god, that is just amazing. And by the way, Matt Hardy needs to seriously see someone about that water in his lake, because people fall into it and come back as their past gimmicks.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened if we threw Kofi Kingston in there. Will he speak Jamaican again?
Jamaican again.
What would happen if we threw Kane in there?
Oh gosh,
he'll
have
rise in
Unabomb
fire.
come back?
Unabomb.
Shit.
But at least we know what happened to New Day's time machine now. Anyway.
There you go.
Anyway, what happened?
It was so much fun.
It was
freaking cool. The Hardys, they may not be able to do what they used to do, but they definitely sports entertain.
Exactly. Like I said earlier, if it wasn't for the Hardys, I don't know what would TNA be doing right now, because
Be going up in bankruptcy court.
probably because very few people care about the world title. This Impact Grand Championship, while it's better than the King of the Mountain match, which for people who don't know is essentially a reverse battle royal. Yeah, as in you have to put something on the hook instead of take it off. It's
So that would be a reverse ladder match.
a reverse ladder match. I forgot, but they did have a reverse battle royal. Just to
But they did
clarify.
have reverse battle.
Oh my
royals.
god, yes.
But yeah, it's a reverse ladder match. But yeah,
But I mean, there was one scene during I do not remember if this was shown on the TV version. If it was, someone please correct me. But there's a scene where they're going through the zoo. You know, Matt Hardy's zoo that he has, where he has. By the way, all the animals in Matt Hardy's zoo apparently are past people, great people from history. Like the giraffe was George Washington.
the boxer was Joe Frazier. Sorry, the boxing kangaroo was Joe Frazier.
There's a scene where he goes up to a cage. Full
Oh,
of
this, yeah, go ahead.
Full of freaking spider monkeys, and he's like, "These right here, they are not past greats. These are the spot monkeys. This is what Brother Nero used to be."
Oh jeez.
And he points at one of the monkeys, and he goes, "This one is DJZ." For those of you who don't know who DJZ is, that's the X Division champ who almost killed Jesse Swartz a couple of years ago.
And somehow still has a job.
Mm-hmm. You know, then he pointed at another one. He was like, "Oh, and this one, I think he said super crazy or something, some kind of like luchador from WWE." And then the best part, there's two of them just sitting there like digging in their asses, running up and down the cage. And he goes, "And those two right there, those are the Bucks of Young." I was like, oh my god, no way. He goes, they're the most worthless and idiotic of all the spotlight.
And before anyone thinks Lou is making that up, this is all true. It's all on the YouTube cut.
That's what I'm saying. But it wasn't on the actual the one that they showed on TV, was it?
I don't know. I couldn't watch that one. Anyone else saw it live?
No one watches Impact Live.
Nope.
I was about to say.
I tried to and I fell asleep.
Sorry.
I usually DVR and watch it the next morning so I could fast forward to the Matt Hardy sections. I can openly admit that.
Now, it starts off with Decay going down the road, and does it look... Because it ends with the truck driver approaching Rosemary, Abyss and Crazy Steve attacking the truck driver. The next thing you know, they're driving away the truck. The truck driver is face down on the ground with his pants pulled around his leg. For TV's sake, he still has underwear on. I'm like, did they just... Wow.
I think they raped
Pat
him.
Patterson had something to do with that.
Oh, that's too easy.
That's how Pat won the Intercontinental title. That hot night in Rio de Janeiro with Terry Garvin.
Oh, that's great.
God. They actually did one thing that made sense. You have a trio of lunatics coming to your house wanting to do harm. So what did they do? They attack with ballistic weapons.
Ballistic weapons being going after them with a firework bazooka.
Yes, but
Okay.
still.
Okay.
Unfortunately, their ballistic assault did not work as they found the dilapidated boat.
The dilapidated boat makes its legendary return.
Yes.
He actually named the boat, and I'm pissed
I
because I can't
forgot the
remember
name too, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as Lewis says, they went into the New Day time machine. Abyss went to the New Day time machine of happiness and returned as Joseph
As
Park.
OVW's greatest student, Joseph Park.
Unfortunately, he ran into Senior Benjamin and his taser.
It's a very fashionable pink taser.
But as the assault is going on, looks like Matt Hardy is cornered. Jeff takes one from a team thanks to Janice when Joe Park turns back to the Abyss and kidnaps Senior Benjamin. But never fear, but Vanguard 1 rises up with missiles.
God bless you, Vanguard 1, with your missile attack, helping our heroes escape.
Unfortunately, he ran into the sinister Rosemary with her evil poisonous spit. She shut down Vanguard 1.
Wait, so are they actually killing wrestlers now, like in Lucha Underground?
Well,
They killed Vanguard 1.
They killed Vanguard 1.
They killed Vanguard 1.
So
We should have had a 10-bell salute at the beginning of the show for Vanguard 1, by the way.
Yeah, we need a moment of silence.
If I had the 10-belt salute ready, I would have got it.
I had to go ahead and break the moment of silence. That's great.
all right. I'm just sitting here. Seriously, are they seriously killing wrestlers off as characters?
Well, Vanguard 1 is the name of the drone.
Vanguard 1 is just Matt's drone.
Oh, okay.
It's his little flying drone that has the ability to project holograms and.
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
shoot-
I haven't seen this shit. I've been too busy watching wrestling and working.
It takes 15 minutes to have some fun and watch it.
But
It's entertaining as shit, but.
anyway, Rosemary turns to Matt, about to give him the same fate, where Matt Hardy inhales not only inhales the poisonous spit, but spits it back at Rosemary.
A bunch of guys watching this saying, God damn, we should have done this in Japan against Muda.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, really. Muda, Nita, go back in time to Kabuki, Tajiri, shit. I mean,
Anyway,
Yeah,
Rosemary was forced to flee. King Maxwell is safe, but at what cost? Senior Benjamin has been kidnapped by Decay, and Brother Nero has been greatly injured by Abyss's barbed wire bat, nail bat, Janice.
There's one part that you forgot,
Go ahead.
which was really. They had a brawl with Brother Nero and Crazy Steve in the swimming pool, and there's a scene where you see, those inflatable tubes you put around you to like the floaty one.
Yeah.
Crazy Steve puts one around freaking Jeff's neck, and he's like strangling him with it, screaming at him to die with your own instrument of death.
So now they're stealing stuff from Dramatic Dream Team, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, before we get into anything else, just to let people know, there was a video out showing a match between Kota Ibushi and Dan Shokodino, and Dan Shokodino is supposed to be the gay guy in this match, and they have a kiss off, and they're selling them like punches. So Dino will lean into Kota and kiss him, and he'll take it like a punch, and Kota will come back and he'll kiss Dino, and Dino will get hit. And they'll just kind of go back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, it gets to the point where they start kissing each other at the same time and selling the hit. And then I forget what Kota did, but eventually he sets him up for one of his fantastic German suplexes to win with the bridge. But it was just like, what? At least Kota has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's not like and yes, he has wrestled the Invisible Wrestler, and yes, he has wrestled the Blow Up Doll. It's not like he's wrestled a 9-year-old.
Hey, you hush. That match with Yoshihiko was a 5-star classic, sir.
And Yoshihiko came
which Yoshihiko?
The Hogan one, remember with Kota Ibushi?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember that whether or not he faced Taker one, Hogan one, or
Hogan.
Yeah, he faced the Hogan one.
Yeah.
So
anyway, back to the leader Decay. There's a scene where Crazy Steve here, and the Decay, they put this crazy face paint on, and while he's brawling with Jeff Hardy underwater, the face paint comes off. He gets up out of the pool, shouts out "face paint replenish," and the paint comes back up.
Wait, what? I must have missed that.
He literally shouts out "face paint replenish," and his paint comes back up.
They did not.
So they just reversed. So they reversed footage. Then is what you're saying.
Well, that's what they did for the Matt Hardy segment as well.
But it was fun. It totally lived up. It was just as good as the final deletion was, and I thought the final deletion was amazing.
Now, unfortunately, the question is going to be whether they're going to do the top this, which I don't think they can anymore. But we underestimated the Hardys the first time. So
and
we'll see.
If you look at this, like when I first heard about it without watching it, I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking stupid.
Which is what did
right now too. Like, why the hell are they talking about this? But when you sit down and watch it, it's actually entertaining.
It's just too bad it isn't wrestling.
But it is entertainment.
Watch it was Steve Mack on Facebook. For those of you who don't know who Steve Mack, Monster Mack from the Hit Squad, really good friend. And freaking I'm name dropping. But he sat there and he was like, something? This may not be wrestling. He's like, but damn, it's fun to watch. Yeah. So that's what made me watch the final deletion when he said that. And then even Homicide chimed in too. He goes, something? He goes, Steve is actually right, guys. Go ahead, give this a shot. Check this out. It's cool, and it was fun. I liked it.
Like
it's the reason I watched TNA.
As a pure wrestling match, it is a train wreck. It is a train wreck of the most epic proportions, but it's such a glorious train wreck that becomes entertaining, and you can't stop watching. That's the best way I could describe the final.
Mr. James E. Cornette says about two dogs fucking on the road.
On the side of the road.
Yeah.
Pretty much what it is.
It's like my favorite movie, No Holds Barred. It's so bad, it's good.
All right, so I don't know
So,
how much more we can put.
Reid,
No one's commenting on the
Reid,
hard references tonight.
Reid, do you have anything to say?
I think Reid fell asleep.
Ninja.
I think he's dead.
I think he's just shaking his head. Anyway,
He's like, what the hell are these smarks talking about now? What the fuck?
Man, aren't they supposed to be teaching me about shit I shouldn't care about?
anyway, so Lou and John, you two have caught an episode of Lucha Underground.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my god! You know what was hilarious though, Will?
What?
At the beginning of the episode, do you sit there and watch, or is it one of those? Okay, this is stupid to you.
I don't have the El Rey network.
Gotcha. So basically, the storyline that they ended season 2 with was that the corrupt owner got jailed. You know, he's gonna pay for what he's gonna do.
Right.
They go to him getting bailed out. Guess who's the officer supposedly bailing him out?
Nails.
MVP.
The greatest intercontinental champion of all time.
Santino Marella?
Wayne Ferris, the honky tonk man, was the police officer to let him out of freaking prison.
Oh, gosh, no. No.
I was like, is that honky? I had to like rewind it because I watched it on DVR.
Oh, God, no. No. Wayne, no.
But you
Hey,
know,
brother, anything for a paycheck.
like, I get paid, man. I got
Apparently.
kids.
I got kids.
I got kids.
Oh, gosh.
But
You know what?
the show
Mark
was fun.
got 0.
The show was fun though. Like, I mean, Mil Muertas, that huge, big, scary man that's their world champion, for a guy of his size, he can move.
Isn't he an actual monster, though? In that show? Isn't he an actual, like, monster? They're billing him as an actual monster?
He was like he's like the owner's deformed brother. Or something like that.
Yeah. Now, remember, gimmicks like this have been done before, but usually even the commentators are like, no, there's no way this guy is an actual monster or mummy or whatever the fuck.
They tried with the freaking Yeti.
Lord
the Yeti didn't work out really well.
like Lord Youngest when they did that with Sid and Shane Douglas. I can't remember the promotion right now, and I'm going to be kicking myself until I figure it out. But
Oh, that reminds me. It was Scott. I think it was Scott Armstrong that was Dixie Dynamite, by the way.
yeah,
Scott Armstrong, that's right. It was probably I knew it was one of the Armstrongs. I just didn't because Smothers and the Armstrongs have always been close, but
That made me remember it for some reason.
Young Pistols, baby.
there you go.
All
But yeah,
right.
the opening match was this monstrous guy, and he had a hell of a match. I didn't know that was Matt Cross under the mask as Son of Havoc. Like, I looked online, I'm like, who is this guy? The way he takes bumps and the way he works looks familiar. It's M-Dog 20. And him and the champ, they had this great match. It was, really freaking good. And like the whole, the whole build up to stuff was fun. The backstage skits, it's like watching an 80s action movie. Like, for example, they had Johnny Mundo beat up Sexy Star because he felt she was more feminine than he was.
Wait, what?
Yes. That was my John Morrison joke.
Oh, I forgot that is John Morrison.
John Morrison's there too for some bizarre reason.
And something tells me Del Rio, the artist formerly known as Del Rio, might make his way back
Del
for
Rio
next
was
season.
there for the first season, I think. I think he was there for the first season. Like I said, I didn't really watch it. But I mean, I got into it. I set it to record every episode because I thought it was fun. And the Rey Mysterio, John, who was the guy that he worked?
Pentagon Dark.
I think this was before Ray fell into the anabolic bag.
Fell into the head.
Wait a minute, is that Judas Messiah? No, that's Rey Mysterio.
That's literally what I'm like. Holy fuck! Is that Judas Messias? No, that's Ray. What the fuck? But Ray and Pentagon had a nice little match where they had Pentagon call out Fat Slob Vampiro, and he shuffled away from the commentary booth.
Vampiro
Which is
like
ironic
job?
because of all the shit that Vampire used to talk about other people, but
But it was fun. Lucha Underground is fun. Take time to check it out. If you like shit like Decay or Delete and the Final Deletion, you'll definitely like watching Lucha Underground.
Well,
If you like actual wrestling and have any sense, you'll avoid it.
Well, yeah.
unfortunately, my DVR doesn't like
the Ray match was the matches are good though. Will the matches are actually really good?
That sounds.
Even if you just want to watch the matches, don't watch the other shit. Just watch the matches, man, because that Rey Mysterio match was the best match I've seen him have in the longest time.
Well, even since his WCW days?
Yeah, it was one of the best matches I've seen him have in like a long time. It was very well done. The Matt Cross Mil Muertes match was very good too.
Well, I have on our notes last Battle of Atlanta. Me and Lou
wait a minute, because I didn't get to go for that one yet.
Yeah, I was actually about to say, me and Lou talked about last time,
yeah,
so I'll
my
let
thoughts
you get your
on
things up.
Lucha Underground is this. I always thought wrestling is like a soap opera, and it should be treated as such. And that's exactly what Lucha Underground does, and that's why I like it.
Well,
Because
it's more like a telenovela, but
yeah, it takes the elements of a Spanish soap opera and incorporates them in the wrestling, and it's actually pretty fun. I liked it.
telling you, Will, the matches are solid.
Yeah.
Even if you want to see the other shit, the matches are very good. Like the two matches they had last week were both really good matches.
All right, so two positive recommendations for Lucha Underground, and as soon as I have a functional DVR, I might actually watch. Now, me and Lou talked about last Battle of Atlanta. I don't have much to add to it. John, you didn't like it. What happened?
It's not that I didn't like it. I basically watched a bunch of Georgia Championship Wrestling going into it, and to me, it was a brutal match. But if you've seen, it's the attitude. If you've seen one Tommy Rich Buzz Sawyer match, you've seen them all, and the hype they gave it, I can understand why they didn't air it then, because it was sort of a letdown. I'm not talking about the 30-year hype. I'm talking about the hype they put on television leading up to the match.
I don't know. I thought the match was good for what it was.
It was good for it. It was good, but they made it seem like it was the end all to be all, and this,
Well, that's the
they
way
made
it
it
was.
seem more violent than what it actually was.
Well, yeah, but that's the way it was back then, though. That's what you did. You would build stuff up like that so people can, you wanted to put an ass every 18 inches.
Yeah, but that's another thing too that I'm not sure of. I don't know whether it was that they didn't air it back then, because why would you put all this hype into a match and not at least acknowledge it on TV what happened? That's Saturday.
Don't forget, the NWA did that with a lot of their pay-per-views. If you think about it, with their pay-per-views, they never showed the highlights of their pay-per-views.
No, I'm not talking about showing highlights.
No, but I mean, you understand what I'm trying to get at, though? Because even if you go to back in the day and watch Saturday Night, the original, 605 Saturday Night freaking show, when there were big events and stuff like that, the most you would see is maybe still shots, and every once in a while you might get a video. Yeah. If it was like a title match or something like that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. But
you
also,
want to chime in on this, Will?
But also, hold on a second, because another reason that maybe it didn't air was because Ole tore his pants during the match and was embarrassed because he was the booker. I don't know.
Yeah, I did notice that. I was watching that and I'm like, okay, so are we going to get underwear shots on this? Oh gosh, it's red. What the fuck? I'm sure those are tights, but still.
But here's another thing. Here's another idea that was running through my head, though. And I was having a discussion with somebody about it. Back then, there was no pay-per-view. There was closed circuit.
It was all closed circuit, yeah.
Yeah, but still,
even WrestleMania 1 was closed circuit.
Yeah, but still, wouldn't that have been? I mean, looking into the past and looking at that card for that night, it was solid. Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't you think that maybe a battle like that, like a match like that, a card like that, they could have made deals with promoters to put that on closed circuit.
Well,
They
when
lost
was the
a lot
match
to
again?
Infancy. I believe the match was in '82.
Okay,
83.
okay, so that
Yeah.
so that was past the point where they actually went to VHS. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, because
By
I
the
would
way,
start to think
even
because I would
recall-
start to think depending on how far back. Remember that Cornette owns a lot of the film, the 16 millimeter film that the NWA used to have when Turner bought out what eventually became WCW.
Yeah, Jim Crockett.
Your Jim Crockett Promotions, right? And so Cornette ended up getting a whole bunch of film because they were going to throw it out, and
Yep.
the janitor let him know, and that's why you can get DVD transfers of that stuff now.
Which I'm wondering how much WWE is begging him for that footage now for the network.
I remember. Yeah, he'd never give it to him.
He'd
But I
never give
remember. Did you guys watch any of Cornette's shoots with Bobby Heenan where he shows off his memorabilia to Heenan and stuff like that?
No. Oh God.
Yeah, I believe it's the volume 3 with Bobby Heenan where Cornette takes Heenan into his house and he's showing Heenan a lot of the older AWA programs, and he actually shows this box right here. They were gonna throw it away. The janitor let me know, and he's like, "This freaking thing was filled with like chicken bones tossed on top of it." Because they treated it like trash.
Yeah.
You know, and thank God he was able to save and restore it. I really need to get my hands on that Cornette collection, by the way.
I think it's like what, $300?
I really would. It's gonna happen eventually, one day.
No. The collection is out.
No, that's what I'm saying. Eventually, I'm gonna.
Eventually, you'll
getting
get
the
it.
$300 to pick up the collection.
There you go.
Because another thing I was just thinking of, and us discussing the last Battle of Atlanta, the match took place in October of '83, and Starrcade was in November of '83, and that was closed circuit.
But didn't they have a bunch of problems with the Starrcade closed circuit?
They had some audio issues that were present, yeah.
Because I know
But
we
for the
actually
most part, it went pretty smoothly.
If you ever need, I know I shouldn't be putting this on the podcast, but whatever. If you ever need copies of any of this, Will, we actually have a lot of the closed circuit versions of Starrcade.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's something I can't cut since I don't have proper editing software. So we're going to go to the recommendations, and since Reid, you're up.
Reid's no longer on the call. I just checked. It just said you and 4 other people. You and 3 other people. And you're the 3 other.
Wait.
Huh?
Oh,
Reid!
You're live.
He's alive.
Oh, damn it! I fell asleep.
We're
See?
You fell asleep to us 4 yahoos talking about wrestling?
I've had a long day.
Holy fuck.
so
He's
okay.
basically telling us to fuck off. We're boring.
Leave
No.
Leave this shit in. Leave this shit in.
I don't have any
No,
editing
this-
software. I have to.
Okay, this is because I'm tired from work and I've actually had a lot of stuff happening. So I'm like, I don't know how that happened. It just happened.
Oh, no. Hey, don't laugh, John. You fell asleep episode 1 before we even
Well, it was
went
also-
there.
Yes, but he
in
didn't
the
fall
morning.
asleep on the call.
Yeah. It was also 1 o'clock in the morning. It's basically the equivalent of somebody falling asleep after SNL and missing Showtime at the Apollo.
Hey, that's not. Hey. I'm not. I have no problem. What? I'm tired.
Well, welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So we have 3 of us left to fall asleep during the middle or before a show. So match.
That's a shame. You missed some gems too.
Yeah,
No shame.
So match
Give
recommendations.
yourself a panic button.
Or we'll just install one. Okay, match recommendations. I already pretty much hinted at my own. Scott Taylor was Sky 2I was very underrated during his feud against motherfucker. I just forgot the dude's name. Ding Malenko. Thank you. So I don't know if they're on the network. Some of them are on YouTube. Go out and watch their feud over the light heavyweight title.
God, did we even bother to research what shows these matches are on?
Well, they're on. Well, half them are on Raw and half of them are on freaking the Sunday
They
night.
They
Sunday
had
Night
2
Heat.
pay-per-view matches.
And about to say 2 pay-per-view matches.
Yeah.
Oh God. So in other words, I'm the only one who actually watched it on something that most people can watch my match that I'm going to recommend on something that most people can actually find and actually see. Because I did not watch the Lost Battle of Atlanta, so I watched that under the WWE Hidden Gems.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did watch that, but there was something that did catch my eye beforehand. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll watch the Lost Battle first, and I'll go back. I had no clue that there was an interpromotional war going on before an interpromotional war. Folks, Madison Square Garden, 1980. WWF champion Bob Backlund versus NWA champion Harley Race.
Hallelujah.
40 minutes of a whole bunch of headlocks. It really was a whole
basically Randy Orton during an Iron Man match.
Kind of. It was a lot of whole. It was a whole
A
lot
lot
of
less real.
headlocks into Scarfold. But to be fair, honestly, it was wrestling at that point in time. We're talking about two mat technicians, Harley Race being tough as nails, selling like he always does. Backlund really showcasing the mat wrestling that made him the champion that he was. Remember, this is 4 years before the Sheik would beat him. So this was during Backlund's big push as champion. I am not going to say what the end was, but it's very fitting considering it's 1980 at the time. If you know your history about Harley Race being NWA champion at the time. Do watch that. It's on the WWE Network. It's under the Hidden Gems, same place under the Battle of Atlanta. It's going to be one match before then. Go definitely watch that, even if half the match is boring as hell.
Go ahead, John.
I'm gonna pull a Lewis and do a twofer because they're both a part of the same thing. Primetime Wrestling 74 on the network, 7/28/86. Because the match I initially I was looking for a match, because I knew it was on the network, but I found another match worth recommending that's on the same show, so I might as well say both. The match I was going to recommend for this week, because I'm an old school WWF fan, I like Wild and Crazy. So, and this match was, and I also love cage matches, so it all blended in. Macho Man Randy Savage and Adrian Adonis versus Tito Santana and Bruno Sammartino in a cage.
Awesome.
Oh gosh! Now was this now is this Adrian Adonis or adorable Adrian Adonis?
Adorable Adrian.
Oh gosh!
Yeah, but it was an awesome match, though.
Dude, the fucking dress gets stripped off of him. I'm sorry, John. I don't mean to step all over you. The freaking dress gets stripped off of him, and they're shaming him in like the bra. It's freaking hilarious.
Oh.
Go ahead, John. Finish your segment.
And then the second match is on the same show, which is Bret Hart against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from the Boston Garden.
Oh wow!
And that was, of course, one of Bret's
brother.
favorite matches.
5 stars, brother.
So yeah,
I normally don't
part
quote
of the same
Meltzer,
thing.
but yeah.
Yeah, they're part of the same thing, so that's why I pulled the twofer for this week. That's a part. Basically, just watch the whole episode.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in a bonus. Just because we did mention the UFC today. If you want to see a Rock'em Sock'em fight, an actual Rock'em Sock'em fight in the actual ring, Don Fry versus Yoshihiro Takayama, Pride FC. Anybody want to watch that? That's a beatdown of a wrestler who didn't quite know what he was getting into versus a wrestler who did know what the fuck was going on. Fry sporting the Dan Severn mustache of doom. I mean, that's just a Rock'em Sock'em fight. Just go watch that. In the spirit of Punk getting his ass whooped, just go watch that.
Did Don Fry at least get some offense, though?
Fry was the aggressor.
Yeah, Fry was the one that fucking took it to him, dude. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Pride, so...
Well, technically, Punk did get some offense, a couple of desperation rabbit punches.
Yeah,
he got fucked up.
What did he do?
To be fair, Takayama did actually get off some more punches than Punk did, but the first 30 seconds of the fight
It's just ow.
It's absolutely... it's a sight to behold.
Yeah. Well, I guess that goes to me.
Yep.
My recommendation this week is not a Hulk Hogan match. So
Okay.
we'll be happy.
Shit, really?
Yeah. Okay. My recommendation this week is on the WWE Network. You can go under WCW pay-per-views. You bring up Fall Brawl 95, and John, I think once I say Fall Brawl 95, you know what match I'm talking about.
I think so.
Arn Anderson versus Ric Flair.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
Jesus.
it.
That match, if you can, I think, do not hold me to this, John. You can probably sum it up better than I could. I know they have some Saturday nights from 95 on the network under the World Championship Wrestling, but they don't have none leading up to the build-up, do they?
I have no idea. I just literally have every single Saturday night from like 85 to 95 on the computer already.
Yeah,
So I really
mean,
don't.
the pack is on the trackers, kids. Get out there, grab August and September 95, freaking Saturday night, just to see the build-up to this match. Arn has always been Flair's backup. He was the guy that made sure that the champ looked good. He was the enforcer.
Yeah.
What happens is Arn sees everything that happened since Hulk Hogan came to the company. He goes, you know something, Rick? You're not yourself anymore. In particular, Flair has a match with Alex Wright on Saturday night.
Alex Wright, the Wonderkind?
Yeah, but hold on, just listen to this. He has a match with Alex Wright. And he's having problems beating Alex Wright. Alex Wright is getting the better of Ric Flair. And Arn Anderson is ringside furious. And, throughout the match, Flair's telling him, come on, brother, help me. Help me out. He finally gets lucky and catches Wright in the figure four. And he reaches for Arn to take his arms to do the whole added pressure thing. And Arn just looks at him and shakes his head and walks away. So, Flair wins the match, of course.
Yeah.
They go to the interview segment. And, him and Arn are standing face to face. And he's like, oh, well, damn. He goes, Rick, he goes, if you need my help to beat Alex Wright, maybe you shouldn't be in the ring anymore. And bam, snap, crowd goes quiet and everything.
Yeah, wow.
And, so then Flair comes out the next week. He's cutting his promos, typical Ric Flair promo, styling, profiling, woo, jet flying and stuff like that. And, Arn comes out somberly onto the set and he goes, I want to ask you a question. Because again, how many times were you world heavyweight champion? And I believe Flair was a 7 or 8 time champion at the time.
11.
Yeah, he's like, oh, well, I was, an 11-time world champion. He goes, I want to ask you, how many of those 11 times was I there to help you win? He's like, well, he goes, before you can answer that, let me ask you once more. How many times did you give me a shot?
None.
And you literally see Flair and Arn both with tears in their eyes. And for me, being an old school Horseman, Mark, this was torture watching these two guys freaking fighting each other,
Yeah.
And he was like, something? He goes, you never gave me that shot. The Horsemen were always about you, Rick. And I'm tired of it always being about you. I've always had to take the back burner to you. At Fall Brawl, you're going to finally fight me. I'm not going to be able to be your backup because at Fall Brawl, you're fighting the Enforcer. And the match is amazing. And didn't we just watch this a couple days ago, John, the Flair Arn match?
Yes, we did.
And
yeah, we did.
The flow of that match, is just, because the fact when the two guys are good friends, this is a thing that you'd notice. They have amazing matches. And this is the first time ever that they worked each other. Because for years, Arn was always the lackey. Mm-hmm. For lack of a better term, Arn was always Flair's lackey. So this was Arn was saying, you know what? I'm part of the reason you've had a lot of your success. I think I can beat you. I know I can beat you. And the only bad thing about it, I know we don't like to give away the finishes when it comes to stuff like this, but the only bad thing about it, it falls under that rule of if it's a fantastic match, it usually has a shitty finish.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, they go. It's a great match. You know, they go to the thing. Pillman comes up onto the apron. You know, he exchanges words with Flair. Flair shoves him. Pillman kicks Flair in the back of the head. Boom, DDT. Arn Anderson arguably gets the biggest win of his career. By pinning Ric Flair's shoulders to the mat. And the match is just, if you can, watch the build-up along with the match. Because there's even it's another one of those, I'm a big, like I said last time, watch the highlight package before the match. You know, where they talk about everything that leads into it and stuff like that. Because, I mean, it was pretty emotional. They did the whole thing where they actually did interviews with Arn Anderson and Ric Flair's respective wives on the Saturday nights, you know, and it was like, you know, they're like brothers, you know, she's supposed to be one of my best friends, and now that they're not talking, you know, I can't talk to her anymore. I can't check on my nieces and nephews. You know, they like dug deep with this.
Yeah.
And it was just very well done. I mean, it was just very well done the way that they did it. Go ahead, sit down, and watch that match on the network, you know, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You know, especially for Ty, I don't think you've ever seen it, have you?
I have not. I am sorry.
And you know what's funny about that? It goes from that amazing match to that piece of garbage War Games.
War Games that year.
What was that year's
basically
War
Hulk
Games?
Hogan and friends going over on the Dungeon of Doom.
Oh God! Now I remember why I didn't watch that match. I think,
there's enough of that. We're not going to go into that.
Yeah, we'll have a show dedicated to terrible matches one day.
Wait a minute! I just thought of something. That would have been an awesome show. Hulk Hogan and friends. Not rock and wrestling. Hulk Hogan and friends.
Hulk Hogan and friends.
I was going to say, didn't they make a show like that already? Wasn't it called Hogan Knows Best?
I was just about to say
like that anyway.
No, but make it a Saturday morning cartoon.
Didn't they make a show like that already called Hogan Knows Best?
I never watched Hogan Knows Best. So I have no idea.
All I can say is that.
Oh boy! And for anyone questioning,
Let's go back to the real thing.
Yes.
Fall Brawl 1995. The Enforcer Anderson versus the Nature Boy Ric Flair. The match you'd never see, like Tony Schiavone kept saying leading up to it. It's the match we thought we'd never see. Bobby Heenan's commentary is almost as good as the 1992 Royal Rumble during this match.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if Flair wins, I'll be good, I swear.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, honestly, his commentary is up there with the way his commentary was at the 92 Rumble.
All right.
Take a chance, check it out.
All right, and before anyone complains, I'm going to put Backlash 2000 for Dean versus Scotty.
You really sit there and look it up while I was talking about my match?
I have my phone right here. I watched it on YouTube. I just didn't remember what pay-per-view it was, so I just went to my history real quick. Anyway, for Lou, Will, John, Reid, are you still up?
I'm still here.
Aren't you going to ask Reid if he has a recommendation that he wants to people?
Yeah, Ty.
I don't right now.
Watch last week's Raw if you need to sleep.
Yeah, Reid is so out of it right now. He doesn't know what's going. To quote Charlie, he doesn't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on.
What's going on?
I'm so high.
As we said,
right now.
As I said, we're going to talk about CWC as a whole next week. For everyone, thank you for listening and have a good night. Bye bye.